Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, AmusedJester. My name is Junior, and today we're going to go ahead and continue building our um, 5 foot scale 5 foot studio scale Chubby Kiwi Millennium Falcon. The designer of this file is Darrin Hurd, and he was gracious enough, and he is gracious enough to give this file for us for free. He's giving access to it to anybody who asks for it. Just go ahead to the Facebook page, Chubby Kiwi 5 foot scale Millennium Falcon. I will attach the link to the Facebook group in the description if you guys are interested. Yes, so he's basically giving this file for free for anybody to print. This is what I call a living design because he is still finishing it off. He's been working at it for over 20 months, and he is updating it constantly, meaning that if he finds something wrong with it, or if he wants to modify something, he does changes things up. The way he's constructed this, if you are not familiar, is that it can he's designed it in sections so you can dismantle it in sections just in case he needs to change things up. Actually, he just changed something recently with the frame, but that allowed us to install it to an engine stand. Anyway, so yeah, just go to the Facebook group, ask for the files, and once you have access to the files, go read the introductory note. In that introductory note, Darrin put in a PayPal if you are interested in providing some sort of donations in appreciation for the efforts that he's done, or just buy him coffee. There's a link in there as well too. Like I said, he doesn't. It's not obligatory. He just mentions it, just in case you guys are interested in showing it. And honestly, guys, once you start printing this and you imagine the scale, the effort that he's done with this one, I think one cup of coffee is not enough to to keep this guy awake during the process. Anyway, thank you again, Darrin, for providing us the opportunity to build this with you. So, this part of the video is going to be dealing with the lower deck rear of the Millennium Falcon, but specifically because the lower deck rear, which is basically the portion of the Millennium Falcon after the bay, docking base, is really big. It's really big. So this one specifically is just going to be dealing with the lower rear deck box, I think is what you would call this, right? So this part right here is what connects to the core, and then this part that's not being shown right now is some sort of a skirt, and the engine goes this way with the flaps and everything. So this one contains the landing gear as well. As you've noticed, I have certain tags over here. This is how I basically construct it. And also, by the way, the format of this video is going to be me showing you the finished product, and then we'll go on to the files, showing you which files I'm going to be opening up. And then I think we'll go ahead with the construction of the base box, which is the black box over here. This is, and then once I've constructed that, I'll show you how I put the panels on and the order that's going on. And just to remind you guys, I don't really know, or I don't really have instructions on how to do this. I just usually read whatever instruction that Darrin put up, and I try to interpret it as best that I can. So in the coming parts of the video, there are some things that well, actually, I'll just talk about it right now. First off, the landing gear. The landing gear, in the rest of the video, I mistakenly assumed that the landing gear comes in from this side, like you input the landing gear going this way. So the rest of the video, I'll have the landing gear positioned incorrectly. So disregard that. The landing gear actually comes in from here. It connects from here. I completely forgot about that when I was doing the jaws. That's how it's supposed to go. Okay, what do I mean by that? Basically, if you want to remove the or replace the landing gear, the open landing gear here, and you want to replace it with the closed ones, you need to pull it from the back. This is going to be hard because this thing is really tight. I'm going to try to show it while on camera. I'm just basically pulling on the open door. That seems to be the easiest way to do it. And as you can see, it's still pretty tight. So this is the landing gear. I've sanded it off this side because I thought I was initially putting it this way, and that's completely wrong. And that basically created a problem. And then, so in order to make sure it's a little bit looser, I sanded this part off. I still need to sand off a little bit more. So I want it to plug in easier, not to be so hard to do so. Let's see. Before I go on, let's go ahead and talk about the panels. I've marked it. It's kind of hard to see. This is base A. This is base D. Base B. Base B2. Base C. Base C2. And then this is port R2, port R, and port. You're thinking, wait, that's not the port. Yes, it is, because if you flip it over, remember this is underneath, so the port side is that way. This is starboard. I know it's kind of confusing. I have to keep reminding myself. Starboard R2, starboard R, starboard. What is this? This is basically, if you look at the files, that's the name of this particular object, is the lower rear base B panel or something like that, and then lower rear base A. So let's keep that in mind. What else did I want to talk about? In putting on the panels, what I've learned is there's a certain method of doing things. I started by doing the side first, and then this side, and then this side. The reason why is that, for example, this particular side over here, the way it's built is, if this is the edge, then this part right here actually comes like that. Okay, so you don't want it. You don't want this and then this. That's the wrong way. It's actually this way. And also, you want to do the sides first, because the side, if this was the side here, then the top panel actually rests on top of it. Or that's the way it's supposed to be designed. Now, once I've glued the side, I went ahead and started doing the top. And when you see the video, you will see me put glue, or start to prepare the glue all over the process really quick. I use the JB Weld quick cure, and it will start to cure within 2 minutes, and within 6 minutes it will be very, very hard to move. So the reason why I was rushing gluing all parts and everything, I needed the glue to have each part to have a glue, and then while the glue is still loose, I needed to move things around, have the capability to move things, shift things, so that there's not too many big gaps going on. The reason is, like, for example, see how there's a gap here, there's a gap here, there's a gap here. I know it's I can see it now, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad, but honestly, if I had not allowed myself to somewhat adjust this as I went along and made this like tight, because you can make this like really tight toward each other, what would have happened was the corner here would have been tight here, tight there, and then there would have been a large, very noticeable gap on this side. So I chose to distribute the gap so it's more minimalistic rather than one big gap at one corner. I feel that the choices I made, even though you can visually see gaps, I feel like it's easier to hide it because they're within panels anyway, so I can easily, if I want to, spackle it, or put joint compound on this one. It will seal it. But I think it will easily hide between this panel and that panel once you painted everything up. What else? I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and continue with the video. We'll go on to the files, and then let's go on with the construction. Alright guys, so we're back at the files over here. We are going to the, as you can see, lower decks over here, part 9. And we're going to be concentrating here on the disc lower rear. Open that up. And now you, again, I'm only going to be going through here. This is the 3MF files that Darrin has already graciously arranged for us. I think that's the easier way of doing things. But if you want to, you can access individual objects through the STL files. And if you want to, then you can go ahead and slice it, orient it, support it, everything that you want to do. I just work off of these files over here. What we're going to be concentrating is the deck box panels, and the deck box. That's it. Everything else in here is going to be for later on, and also the landing gear boxes. So 1, 2, and 3. The lower disc, the Centurion boxes, and the flaps, we'll do with that on another part. So the deck box is basically the main support structure for what I showed you, the black pieces. Just print it out very normally. I think this is a 2-wall, and I changed from 15 to 10% gyroid infill. Okay, and then the other one we're opening is the deck box panels. This is the one that basically is the skins. Right there, see? Let's go ahead. Everything's all oriented already. Everything's already sliced. But I had to change my settings because Darrin has this for Bamboo Lab. So I had to change that for my own. Anything in particular that I want to talk about? Nothing really. Everything's pretty much all said and done. All you have to do is go ahead and print it. And the last thing is, like I said, we are going to be printing the lower rear landing gear boxes. And that's basically just the 2 boxes for the Millenium Falcon. Pay attention. As you saw me show, it basically tells you rear, front, port, and the other one's the rear, front, starboard. Okay, that's it. Go ahead and slice it onto your plates. Go ahead and print it. And now we're gonna go on to the construction of the deck box first. Let's go. Guys, I know this is kind of hard to see because I printed it in black, but this is the lower deck rear section, or parts of it. This is the frame. So what I am doing right now, this is basically 6 pieces. What I'm doing is I basically glued the first half here and then the top half here, and then I'll glue it that way because this is pegged in this way, this way, this way, this way, and hopefully once the glue has dried, I will peg it into this one. This is very thin over here, so I've got some breaking off over here, but I believe that's going to be covered up by the skin anyway, or by the panels. So all right, so construction. I have to say right now, I'm doing this mostly just as an, even though it's an instructional video, there's no format when I'm doing this. I just do it as I go along, and then as I do each video, I try to learn as much as I can and see if I can improve things in a little bit. So what I'm gonna do right now is, first off, I've already labeled this. I thought I did. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to label this for now, so it's easier for me to identify which project, and you can see where I'm going to place everything. And then I already built the deck box. This is the panels for the lower rear box, and I've already built the deck box right here. Okay, and I think I have a small clip on me assembling this. So let me go ahead and label this out, and then I'll lay it out, and then we can check things out a little bit. Alright, I've properly labeled everything out. As usual, what I like to do is lay everything out so it gives me a little bit better idea of what's going on. And also, once I start gluing things out, it'll be no confusion. Gives me a chance to kind of step back and think a little bit. So I'm not too much in a hurry. So I'm assuming these would be starboard side, which is this side. Oops. And port R2, starboard R2. Let's see. So it should go in here. Two. Probably. It's going to go in there. Goes in here. Port R2 is this one. And I'm run out of space, so I'm just going to put this here. And starboard R3 right there. And that's it. So that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to tape the sides just like I did in the other one, and then concentrate on the top. All right, so the reason why I always do this is because Darren sometimes, in order to get a better alignment of things, he uses lips and kind of, I guess you would say, undercuts. So it needs to be put in a proper order. What do I mean by this? For example, this part right here, the starboard side on this corner, and then with the corresponding STBR piece over here. The way this works is it goes like this, right? So if you make a mistake and put this on top and you align this part with the sidewall here, it's not gonna right, like with the side wall of the deck. So what I would do is this: if I was building it, I would place this one first, align it so it does this part, and then this part right here, and then this part, and then once you do that, then you should, at the when you get to this edge over here, this should overlap a little bit, and you're expecting this one to come in. Or what you could probably do is, well, at least now you know, knowing that the top part of this one should be flushed with the deck, because this basically comes on top of that. Like these panels go on top of the sides. That's what it's telling me. The top panels, or the bottom panels I should say, there's no interlocking piece, there's no lips or anything, it just goes in sideways like that, except for this one piece over here on B2 and B1. You'll see it immediately. This goes on top of this one. I did need to also, by fitting it in, I noticed that this part was not fitting in, and I thought maybe he had done one of those things where it slides in. What do I mean by that? Let me try and grab another piece. So these two pieces are going to be part of something later on. It comes over here in the top. These are called Centurion boxes. This has to be put in particular part. What? See how it's like that? You can't put this on top. You have to slide it in for it to fit. All right, and I'll talk about this later on. But that's what I mean. Sometimes Darren, when he's doing things, it's a puzzle, interlocking pieces sometimes. But this one, for the top part, it's just a matter of just it's not. There's no interlocking here except for this one part. So, having said that, I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing it. If you're gonna I'm gonna do speed run because otherwise it's gonna take a long time. But just keep that in mind. I'm doing things in a certain step of gluing things because it seems that's the way it is, and it goes the same way for these two. For these parts over here, they kind of interconnect like that. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and glue it, and we're gonna do the speed, fast forward, speed run, whatever it's called. All right, so unfortunately, some of the stuff that I did is kind of off camera because I had to concentrate on what I'm doing rather than showing you guys. But as you saw, I was really hurrying and rushing, gluing these four areas. Why did I want to glue them as quickly and almost at the same time? Because the glue I'm using is the JB Weld. Once it's set after 6 minutes, it's not gonna move anymore. But during that time, during the first 2 minutes, I'm able to slide it a little bit or something. And with that, because I suspected that it's a possibility that I'm not gonna be able to get this properly like lined up. With that, I was able to look at and see how much I'm willing to give in terms of gaps, just to make sure I don't have a large gap in one particular section. So with that one, I wasn't able to. I sacrificed a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit. So there's no big gaps or anything like that. And I think I can still kind of move it a little bit if I wanted to at this point, but I'm pretty satisfied with the gaps that I've gotten on this one, and then I think once you painted this, you will hardly see the gap and everything like that. Um, One thing I did note, like, and also while I'm doing that, I'm trying to make sure it's all flushed here because the top part is going to cover it. One thing I did note was, I'm not sure you can see it. Look at the edges from here and this panel over here, right? See how that one, the shadow on this one, look at the shadow on this one. There's actually the upper panel that he's trying to design is actually above this one. So I made sure that this one, the lower part, is flushed in with the surface of the black one, because this one actually seems to overlap a little bit than this one, meaning that if you look, see, you can kind of see this one's a little bit more forward than this one. Anyway, yeah, so I think that's good. I'll let this dry out and then I'll do the upper panel. Um, and that's I was kind of fortunate that I have this much clamps because I really needed it. And yeah, the only thing that I'm afraid of is that this glue that I'm using, it's expensive. The JB Weld, each tube is about $25. So it's, if I could have, I would have liberally put it on every surface. But as it is, I'm hoping this contact at least will be good enough. So So that's it, guys. I hope you found the video informative and helpful. The way, like I said, I only do this just to help everybody out, not go through the same mistakes that I can see that I've gone through. If you find that what I've done is, that I've done certain steps that are wrong, if you think you can improve upon it, please put it in the comments, or let the group know. I think it's best that if you're while you're constructing this, if you find yourself making a mistake and you just want to point it out to the group, just post it. It'll help us all a lot. A lot more people are coming into the group now, and a lot of them are quite talented and helpful. So we'll basically help each other out build the Millennium Falcon properly. Like I said, Darrin has been doing this for over 20 months, so it's kind of hard to keep asking him, hey, how does this go? How does that go? And then there's more of us coming on along the way. So I think it would be best that we just help each other out in terms of constructing it, rather than disturbing Darrin too much, because he does have a full-time job as well, and he's doing it for the hobby. So let's try to keep the load on him as much as possible, and thank him, please. Once you start building this, trust me, once you trust building this and realizing what he's been doing, and he's giving it for free, trust me, please show your appreciation. I certainly do want to express my extreme gratitude. This has been quite a very joyful project to build. Thank you, and stay tuned. I'm almost finished printing the entire lower deck, so it's just a matter of building things together, and of course taping it, editing it, and everything. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next build. Thank you. Bye.